And this is a vertical retro handheld game console. It's also exquisitely crafted with premium materials, feels refined in the hand, and has a unique design. So, beyond just gaming, these products have an added collectible quality. They're often called electronic collectibles, or even premium electronic devices. AYANEO newly launched Pocket VERT handheld gaming console. The official statement declares this is not just a handheld, but indeed a collectible pocket-sized work of art. So today, let's get a first look and unbox this electronic collectible or even premium electronic device and discover what the experience is truly like. The pace at which AYANEO rolls out new devices is truly astonishing. It's almost as if they host a launch event weekly, and each new product consistently offers distinct selling points. This time, the Pocket VERT focuses on two main things. First, its exquisite craftsmanship and materials and exterior ID design, and second, this incredibly delicate analog pocket equivalent LCD screen that offers a pixel-perfect display for everything. So, our video today will focus on these 2 points as I share my hands-on experience. Peeling off the base film, we can observe that its front also adopts the family-style integrated glass panel design, which makes the device's front appear remarkably cohesive and pristine. The absence of material splicing means there are no visible seams, which contributes to an impressive visual and tactile consistency, making the device feel truly premium and unified, both to the eye and to the touch. The entire body is meticulously crafted using a CNC precision-carved unibody process. You can plainly see the detailed finishing and finely polished seams. Its full metal unibody features sharp, distinct angles, exuding a bold personality with numerous diagonal cuts that really emphasize its strong lines and high-tech aesthetic. In terms of its aesthetic, it boasts another distinctive attribute. Every button on this device is crafted from clear, crystal-textured material without any markings, which in turn lends it a remarkably streamlined and impeccably clean appearance. Even the 4 shoulder buttons on the back feature this diagonally cut, transparent design. As light shifts and plays across them, they take on an elegant, ruby-like quality, gleaming with a sophisticated texture. The official designation for this aesthetic is the diamond cut style. It strongly reminds me of the headlights found on concept sports cars, somewhat evoking that distinct style you see on a Lamborghini. Actually, let me correct that, a Lamborghini. This time, the VERT comes in 3 color options. While I usually prefer black or white, I opted for a more vibrant and striking color this time, a lively lava red. I really feel that this shade of red is perfectly crafted. It's so vibrant and full of passion, avoiding any dullness, yet it never appears garish or cheap. Especially when playing black and white retro Game Boy games, the red body adds a splash of color to the monochrome screen. When you hold the machine, its size is quite compact. It's considerably smaller than the AYANEO DMG vertical handheld, making it easy for even female gamers with smaller hands to comfortably grip and play it. Here, we can directly compare the visual size of this device with 2 other vertical handhelds I currently possess. First, when compared to AYANEO's own Pocket DMG, you'll notice both the screen and overall body are a size smaller. The VERT appears more refined and noticeably more portable. Analog Pocket is, of course, an essential reference when discussing retro vertical handhelds. You can observe that the body widths of both devices are quite similar. They actually utilize the very same display screen with identical dimensions and resolutions. We'll dive deeper into this highly acclaimed LCD screen later on. From a side view, the VERT appears both thinner and more compact. However, the Analog Pocket's true distinguishing asset, its very essence, lies in its cartridge-compatible hardware. In that respect, the VERT is truly hard to beat. Its superiority over the AP comes from its Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor, delivering enhanced performance, and the Android system offers much more flexibility. If you're seeking an authentic, lag-free hardware experience, the Analog Pocket is your go-to. However, for those aiming to explore a broader array of advanced emulator platforms, high-performance vertical handhelds such as the VERT and DMG stand out as excellent options. Additionally, the VERT and DMG have a different button feel. The DMG uses conductive rubber buttons, while the VERT uses all micro-switch buttons. Personally, I feel micro-switch buttons have shorter travel and clearer feedback, which might be a better fit for the retro gaming experience. The D-pad has no ghosting and is great for combo input, and diagonal inputs are also quite responsive. The Pocket VERT features an innovative button design this time. Its hidden, borderless touchpad located at the bottom can be used to simulate a joystick, and the overall operational experience is quite magical and impressive. Plus, the function buttons on the side of the device can also be used to adjust the touchpad's mode. By default, the touchpad simulates the left stick. For instance, if we switch it to the right stick, now when you slide your finger on it, it simulates the right stick. You can also switch to a dual stick mode, where the left side of the touch area acts as the left joystick and the right side functions as the right joystick. Moreover, pressing down on the corresponding sections of the touchpad replicates the L3 and R3 joystick button activations. This design is quite innovative and also rather responsive. However, using a touchpad to simulate a joystick will never achieve the same level of precision as a genuine joystick. It's essentially just a virtual stick, suitable for temporary use in a pinch. But for playing games that heavily depend on precise joystick control, it's definitely not recommended. As a handheld device positioned for a retro experience, many vintage games are predominantly controlled using the D-pad anyway. Additionally, this touchpad boasts another interesting feature. It can be configured to mimic a mouse trackpad, similar to what you'd find on a laptop computer. While it might not be incredibly useful for a retro handheld device, it's still quite an enjoyable and entertaining feature to have. The only practical application I can envision for this handheld device is when it's connected to an external display. In that scenario, you can effectively utilize it as a trackpad for remote control operations. Regarding the other external interfaces, the VRT also incorporates the volume adjustment scroll wheel design, which I personally found very appealing on the DMG. It offers a very comfortable tactile experience, and you can even hear its distinct sound as you operate it. This roller wheel boasts unique functionalities. A quick press mutes it, while a long press opens a menu for personalized adjustments. Within that menu, you're able to set it up to control various functions, such as screen brightness, performance modes, and a whole lot more. The device's side also has 4 unmarked customizable function buttons. Additionally, there's a power button that includes a fingerprint scanner, as well as a TF card slot. On the other side, you'll find only the volume scroll wheel and 2 unlabeled customizable buttons. On top of the device are the heat exhaust vents and dual speakers. And on the bottom, there's a full-featured Type-C port and hey, a 3.5mm headphone jack. This time, AYANEO finally delivered it to you. The back features an air intake vent for cooling, along with 4 shoulder buttons. Actually, the hardest part of designing a vertical handheld is the feel of the shoulder buttons. Since these have a certain curve, their diagonal cut not only looks better, but also fits the curve of your 2 fingers, making the buttons easier to press. The L2 and R2 buttons aren't too challenging to reach either. However, due to its all-metal construction, the device inherently carries a considerable weight. Weighing in at 319 grams, it's quite hefty for its compact size, giving it a substantial and premium feel when held in your hands. Next up is the machine's second major selling point, its incredibly delicate eye-protective LCD screen. It has a resolution of 1600 by 1440, which on a 3.5-inch screen gives it a staggering PPI of 615. This display is absolutely ideal for enjoying both Game Boy and Game Boy Color titles. The 10x pixel-perfect borderless display truly brings these classic cherished games back to life, making them feel fresh and engaging once more, as if experienced for the very first time, captivating players with renewed visual clarity and an immersive experience. Even black and white game screens appear remarkably intricate, showcasing a distinctive pixel art style that truly enhances their charm. I'm sure that seasoned retro gamers have already fully appreciated the charm of this specific screen on the Analog Pocket, haven't they? Now, with it integrated into a high-performance Android handheld, it delivers not only superior performance but also a significantly greater degree of freedom in terms of personalized settings and customization options. As you can plainly see, the pixel-perfect game visuals displayed are exceptionally sharp and remarkably clear. When it comes to the GBC platform, beyond the pixel-perfect display, this screen's colors are truly outstanding. Even more noteworthy is that, despite being an LCD, it achieves a remarkably pure and deep black. Plus, the LCD screen is full brightness flicker-free, which is much friendlier for your eyes. When combined with specific low-saturation filters, older games can be revitalized, offering a remarkably crisp and sharp visual experience, much like that of a meticulously printed image. This really makes them pop. So, what do you all think? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the display quality of this device? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts and opinions on how well it performs in terms of visual fidelity. Let me know what you think in the comments below, or tell me if you have any questions about it. Your feedback is truly valuable, and I'd love to know if you're as impressed as I am with what this screen has to offer for retro gaming enthusiasts, or even for general use. Is it a perfect 10, or does it have some room for improvement in your eyes? Don't hesitate to share your honest assessment with me. Besides the squarish Game Boy series, for GBA games, since the screen resolution is high enough, you can also set it to 6x pixel perfect. This way, the black bars on the sides aren't too big, and the display is still very sharp. The only thing is, due to the different aspect ratio, you'll have some black bars at the top and bottom. However, similar to the impressive results we've witnessed on the Analog Pocket, the experience of playing GBA games on this device is also quite outstanding and truly enjoyable. Regarding the latency issues introduced by software emulators, you can still perfectly enjoy playing RPGs and simpler action games with them. However, if you're really passionate about high-speed action or rhythm games, I'd still highly advise opting for original hardware or a dedicated emulation device like the Analog Pocket. For even more vintage FC games, you can also configure it to display at a 6x pixel perfect resolution, ensuring a crisp and clear image. This machine is equipped with the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. Thanks to this high-performance chip, it allows for playing emulator games from more advanced platforms compared to the analog pocket, such as PS2 titles. It's truly a comprehensive solution that can fully conquer and satisfy all your gaming needs, especially for systems like the PS2, making it an ultimate, all-encompassing device that's perfect for all your retro gaming desires. For movement, games often require the use of the left joystick. Here, we can configure the D-pad to function as the analog left stick, enabling us to control character movement using the physical D-pad buttons. Alternatively, we can utilize the lower touchpad, configuring it into a dual joystick mode. This allows me to move by sliding the left side, and in games like God of War, I can perform a roll by sliding the right. For games where the right stick is exclusively used for actions like a quick roll, it's definitely feasible to directly simulate that with this touchpad. Of course, we can also use a combination of the D-pad emulating the left analog stick and the touchpad emulating the right analog stick to achieve an even better gaming experience. In addition, given the excellent display and immersive stereo speakers, you can also use it to binge-watch shows or browse Bilibili. This is truly the advantage of the Android system. Now, concerning native Android games, even though it performs well enough to run major titles such as Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact, the absence of a physical joystick makes it rather cumbersome, and the 3.5-inch screen is quite diminutive. Therefore, I truly don't suggest using it for playing various Android games. A vintage handheld console should really embrace its retro essence. The overall experience is just so much better that way. However, some native Android games, with their relatively simpler graphics, are perfectly playable on the small 3.5-inch screen, and for certain mini-games, using this touchpad for gameplay actually provides a quite decent experience, especially for games that only require a single left joystick, like Potato. It runs remarkably smoothly. In addition, with its massive 6000 mAh battery and active air cooling, it delivers impressive battery life and consistently high-performance output. In my tests, playing some retro games, the battery life can reach 5 to 6 hours. Being a sleek, compact little box with no joysticks, you don't have to fret about pressing them accidentally. Sliding it into your pocket and taking it out for use is a rather pleasant experience. Moreover, given the 3.5-inch screen's relatively compact size, when playing resource-intensive emulator platforms such as PS2 or Switch, there's no need to push the 3D rendering resolution too high. This significantly eases both the machine's performance demands and its battery consumption. Coupled with its exquisite craftsmanship and stunning aesthetic appeal, this top-of-the-line analog pocket comparable screen ensures it's more than just a pretty face. It truly boasts numerous unique benefits that significantly enhance the actual gameplay experience. Alright, that's everything we have for this episode on the AYANEO Pocket VERT. If you're interested, feel free to follow us. See you next time. Bye-bye.